Good evening, everyone. It's April 5th, 2016, and two things of import have happened today. The first is that the Red Sox opened their season and won their first game, 6-2. Go Sox. The second is that the town of Chelmsford held its annual spring county election, and we're here to give you live coverage and live results. And with me is the inestimable Glenn Thorne.
I'm going to have to look that up after we talk tonight.
Welcome back, Glenn.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for the invitation to be here.
Great to have you again. This has been an interesting election because of, as much as anything, of the weather. We had this late season snowstorm yesterday, left the whole place covered, and pretty cold this morning, cold and windy, and I'm guessing that might have had something to do with the turnout.
It might have. It reminds me of an election a long time ago when they actually had to cancel the election. You remember that one?
I do.
We were out there holding signs, and they had to redo the election 2 weeks later. That was a real chore.
Right, and according to town clerk, the town clerk here, the turnout has been about 10% today. Obviously, we'd like it to be a little bit higher than that. Glenn and I voted, so we're in the clear here. But it is, weather, and also it is not one of the most hotly contested election seasons that we've had here in town. There are a couple of contested elections, and we'll get to those in a minute. But the general landscape has been one of relative calm, relative quiet. Punctuated, I have to say, by a couple of announcements some months ago of incumbents, probably sure to be reelected, who opted not to run again. And on the Board of Selectmen, that was Matt Hansen and Janet Askenberg, two of the big players out of the five.
And that was partly a surprise. I thought Matt would run again. You know, I didn't know what Janet's plans were, so I mean that was partly a surprise. But it's good to have new people on the boards, or people that have been there and come back to add some continuity. But change is good. We had talked a little bit about town meeting reps before this show started, and it is a very important position because a town meeting really decides, where the budget's going to be spent, what the priorities of the town are. The selectmen and other officers, they generally promote particular issues, but it's really a town meeting where things are decided. So it becomes very important that the town meeting reps, do the homework, read the brochures that come out from the finance committee on what's going on, and bring their best game to town meeting. And I know some of the people who wanted a write-in vote will do just that because they're anxious to become town meeting reps and get into the action.
Unlike days gone by when we had to have people run in from points far afield, Vinyl Square, and where have you.
I was one of those runners many times.
We expect to be able to bring you the results pretty quickly. And in fact, we already have precinct 1 results are already in. You can see them there on your screen. Pat Wojcik eking out a victory, Glenn Diggs in second place, and Sandy Martinez a fairly distant third. And so you can see on your screen now that as we've been talking, the results have been just pouring in. We now have the first 6 precincts complete in terms of the tally, and you can see that the vote is staying pretty much as you saw for precinct 1, with Pat Wojcik in the number 1 spot, Glenn Diggs not far behind, and Sandy Martinez running a fairly distant third at this point. Did you have a sense that because Glenn Diggs was a newcomer to this race, that maybe Sandy would have done better than she appears to be doing?
No, it was really hard to call. But Glenn has been, over the past year, like I said, at many, many meetings. So he's been seen, he's contributed to some of these meetings, so he became more well-known to people that are paying attention to the town politics as being involved a lot over the past year, and sometimes that matters. If you're out doing things and you've seen a lot and you're contributing to whether a school committee meeting or a planning board meeting or a selectmen's meeting, and you're there talking and just being present and catching up to what's going on, people notice that.
So we're going to widen out here and welcome Pat Wojcik. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Pat.
Hello.
You've got a smile on your face. Things are going pretty well so far.
I think so. Things are looking pretty good right now. Yeah.
Are you? Is this kind of what you expected, or are you surprised by the count so far?
I haven't looked at them in detail yet, so...
Here's a hint. You took Precinct 5.
Oh, I did see that, and I was very glad to see
We're all
that.
for Precinct 5, right?
Yeah, I mean, I quite honestly, last year when I saw the results at Precinct 5, that's kind of when I knew that it didn't look good for me. But this year, looking at Precinct 5, it looks very good. So, you know, I'm happy, I'm satisfied with what I've seen so far, and hopefully the remaining results will bear out what we've seen so far.
Have you spoken to Charlie yet to see how he's feeling about now?
I did call him just a few minutes ago to tell him to come on over, and he was surprised to hear that he's doing well.
You should be watching. You should be mentioning at the top of the program, the selectmen's race was a contested race, and probably least likely to be contested, except for the untimely death of Bill Spence, was the constable race. And it appears that the winner of that will be Charlie Wojcicki. And
Yes, indeed.
as luck would have
And
it,
guess who
Charlie
showed up?
Charlie is here.
Congratulations,
Welcome.
Charlie.
Thank you guys
Congratulations.
very much.
You're welcome.
What prompted you to run for this?
I just like Bill Spence so much. I figured I'd do something that he did because he seemed to enjoy it, and I really, really like his daughter, Sandy. Talked to Sandy at length about it, and figured out what
So
it was
you
about.
knew what you were getting into, Charlie,
Yeah,
right?
I knew a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So
Were you surprised that it attracted 4 candidates?
no, I thought there'd be like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm amazed, and I'm just amazed that I won too, because you know there were 4 candidates. There's 4 good people running.
Yeah.
So as I promised your sister I wouldn't mention, it's all the Wojcicki signs around town that get people aware that you were running for
It
constable,
probably
right?
was. It probably was my sister's dime, and I went on my sister's
I thought
dime.
that was great strategy on your part.
Hey, farmers know what they're doing. They
So,
prove
so
it.
tell us. All right. So I know you've done some research here. I think a lot of people really don't know what the constable does. So inform
delivers a
us.
lot of papers, and I was told mostly for Ornerina. You work in the town, you deliver papers in the town for Ornerina mostly.
So if the constable's coming up to our door, is that a good or bad thing?
It's probably a bad thing.
Okay.
So you better run.
So I have to say, we're seeing now. We have all 9 of the
So
precincts
that's
reporting.
Here's
and,
the constable's race, and that's pretty clear.
pretty
That's-
clear.
that's
You
a
almost cracked
significant
that
margin.
1,000 vote mark. It was a light turnout day, but it's a pretty clear victory for you. And I think we're going to be. It's going to be great to see you around more often. And it looks like your sister Pat won the
Pat won
bragging
also.
rights.